describe chronic as well as acute hazards. Some companies have developed their own system, but whatever the system at your facility, you and your employees must be thoroughly trained to understand it and know the nature of hazards involved. An additional warning may need to be printed in other languages. Any labeling system must be understandable even to people who can't read. These are material safety data sheets, MSDS for short, that provide more details about a chemical than is contained on the warning label. These sheets are usually prepared by the manufacturer and always accompany the initial shipment of a hazardous material. Updated information from the manufacturer is provided to users. The written HAZCOM program at your company must describe the MSDS system in place and how employees gain access to them. MSDS data includes such information as physical and chemical characteristics of the chemical, appearance, odor, boiling point, evaporation rate, and melting point, fire and explosion hazards. The MSDS tells you how particular chemicals may enter the body and the acute and chronic health effects they can cause. It provides exposure limits, information for safe handling and use, plus waste disposal instructions, the recommended personal protective equipment, engineering controls, and ventilation. The MSDS also tells you what to do in case of an emergency involving the chemical or how to apply first aid. The company is responsible for maintaining current copies of MSDS forms for each hazardous chemical in use, and also for making sure workers understand the information they contain.
This information should be located near to where workers are using the materials and must be accessible to all workers on all shifts at all times.
We as supervisors can help by ensuring MSDS files in our departments are intact and that workers know how to use them.
That's right, Dave. All workers handling chemicals must know the hazards involved in their work and also be trained to reduce them. Information is the heart of hazard communication.
Employees must know the hazards associated with processes, materials, and products they work with and the means to protect themselves. That's a HAZCOM requirement.
There are a number of hazardous chemicals in the building.
New employees need to be informed at the time of their initial assignment if they will be using hazardous materials.
We're going to have to use special controls for this chemical.
Employees need to be informed whenever a new hazardous material is introduced, or if they are transferred to a job involving different hazardous chemicals, or if a reformulation of a chemical presents new hazards. Contract or temporary workers also must be informed. Anyone working at your plant must be trained in the safe use of the chemical.
We're starting to develop formal training programs at the plant, and we'll be working with your department soon. Let's look into a training session going on now with employees from the plating department.
Everyone should have a copy of the material safety data sheets on potassium cyanide and hydrofluoric acid. We want to go over these sheets carefully so you understand what can happen when these two chemicals react with each other, and just how you can protect yourself. Now, if you'll notice,
A good training program is the most effective way to get the necessary safety information to the employees.
One by one with you.
Training teaches workers how to protect themselves from hazardous chemicals in their workplace. It explains labeling, the MSDS system in use, how to identify physical and health hazards of chemicals, recognizing signs and symptoms of overexposure, using personal protective equipment and engineering controls, performing first aid or dealing with an emergency, and in general, provides all the details of the company's hazard communication program. Supervisors play an important part in training. They intimately know the workplace, the people in it, the procedures, and the chemicals used.
Supervisors can be helpful by going over important points with workers even after they've attended the training sessions. Some might not use their engineering controls or personal protective equipment properly and need a reminder. Just a few minutes of one-on-one is really useful.
Personal attention is a great idea. I can see how it would strengthen any training program.
Some supervisors conduct periodic inspections and discussions with employees in order to assess the effectiveness of training. There are many creative ways for supervisors to help improve understanding and promote safe practices.
If your company had had a thorough training and hazard communication program, the incident with the cleaning solvent over there probably wouldn't have happened.
Yes, but thanks to your help, we're making everybody aware of safety around hazardous materials.
We're making good progress. Already, the workers handling hazardous substances are all using proper personal protective equipment, including safety goggles that are called for by the MSDS. Additionally, a continuous flow eye wash station is being installed at this location. Plus, there are now updated MSDS files right where they should be throughout the plant.
Thank you very much for your help.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Goodbye.
Hazard communication is a critical issue in running a safe operation, and OSHA is serious about enforcing the standard. Compliance means that companies need a written HazCom program containing an up-to-date inventory with labeling information, an MSDS system, and an information and training plan for all employees. Your involvement and your leadership will make this program work. Be part of the safety partnership by helping to implement and improve hazard communication at your plant. It's for everybody's